evening, everyone. So as usual, on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m., we come back to you again with another topic of discussion. And tonight's discussion or tonight's topic is going to be kids can be great leaders too. Do you agree or disagree? Right. So we have kids who will be expressing their opinions on the topic. So can all the speakers please turn your cameras on so that we can highlight you when you're expressing your opinion. The first speaker who will be expressing her opinion tonight is Risha. Risha, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you say, Risha? Kids can be great leaders too. Do you agree or disagree?
So I completely agree for this topic. First, a leader is one who can inspire the workers to do their best. Not only adults can be leaders, kids too can be leaders, because kids are so creative and innovative in what they do and have self-confidence. All children have the potential to develop leadership skills. So here, I think that kids too can be great leaders.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Risha. Our next speaker is Nada. Nada, what do you think? Do you agree with the topic? Kids can be great leaders too, or do you disagree?
Well, in my perspective, I think that everything a child goes through is a way of mastering every degree and becoming leaders in different things. Children have a really broad mind, which takes them to different perspectives and places without experiencing it. They can answer all the questions and are very creative, unlike all the adults. Therefore, I believe children can be great leaders too.
Okay, great. And it'll be great if someone can give us an example of why you think kids can be great leaders too. Are there any kids who have shown their leadership skills, right? So if you can give an example, that will be great. So Shimar, what do you think? Do you agree with the topic? Kids can be great leaders too, or do you disagree?
Yeah, I totally agree. But in some conditions, we need some conditions. Like kids can be a great leader, but in some conditions, like teach kids how to see the things from others' point of view. Good communication is a key component to being an effective leader. Teach kids how to listen carefully and how to respond to others in calm, and respectfully help children to build self-confidence. If we do that, they will be a great leaders one day. Thank you.
Okay, right. Thank you, Shimmer. Amy, what is your take on this?
Yes, sir. So as most of you did, I too completely agree with this topic, that kids can be great leaders too. And as we can see here at Speak, we learn to be great leaders from different sides, not only in public speaking and not only in monitoring the other students of our age or our younger brothers and sisters, yet in every side. As we go through all the problems, we get experience, and if we make any mistakes, then we assure that we won't make any mistake. Yeah, we know that humans are not perfect, yet we can mind that whatever the mistakes we do, once we are facing any problem, that kids won't make it again. And adults, for them, sometimes it's very hard for them to make it to stay astray without making the problem once again. But kids, if you practice from small age onwards, there are many advantages in which you will, when you grow up, you can use. So there is this American girl named Kira Bailey who fights to protect the earth for our future generations, which is really good. And I completely agree with this topic, and also I recommend that clubs like Speak should be developed more so that all kids can take part in these things and become great leaders in future to rule our world. Thank you.
Okay, right. Thank you, Amy. Amna, what do you think? Kids can be great leaders. Do you agree or disagree?
Of course, I agree with this topic. Not only adults and famous people can be leaders, we kids can also be great leaders and bring change into society. Kids can be leaders because even our opinions are valid, and we also speak from what we know. Yes, maybe adults have more experience, but what kids have experienced as well are valid. Anyone can be a leader if they try it and put effort into it. I think age doesn't matter when being a leader. It's the intention that matters. If an adult wishes to make a change by leading, okay, that's good. If a child wishes to make a change by leading, okay, that's equally great. The fact that anyone can be a leader is what I love most about Speak organization. I've seen little kids put out ideas that I wouldn't have thought of. Freedom of speech and ideas. That's what makes a good leader. And that's the ability Speak has given all kids. Another point to support this topic is that kids, even though we are small, are still human. We have minds, we have hopes, we have dreams, and we mainly have imagination. So we need a chance to use all of those abilities, and being a leader is the best way. Simply, kids can be leaders in their own way. By using what they know, you don't have to know everything to be a leader. Just knowing that you want to be a good leader is enough. So anyone can be a leader, whether it be an adult or a kid.
Okay, thank you, Amna. That was very interesting. Azima?
I totally agree with this topic because if the kid is brought up with good values and get a good environment, so he can get an inspiration to be a leader one day. Thank you.
All right, that was short and crisp. Abdullah Rizkan, what do you have to say about the topic? Can kids be great leaders too?
Like almost everyone, I also agree with everyone else. Kids, not just kids, anyone, even old people can be leaders. For example, like take a school, like when you walk across the corridor of the grade 1, you can see like small gangs. Like there's just one small kid like who rules them, like everyone listens to them. That's also a sort of leadership. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So leadership can be in various levels. It doesn't mean that you have to come to the adult world to prove that you're a leader. You can prove that you're a leader in your own capacity as well. Okay, Rehan?
So I think that kids can be amazing leaders. And a lot of people said that it's not about the age. Like anyone can anyone can be a leader if you have the courage to do it. So I think kids can do it more because I know there's a big issue with the experience and stuff. But however, the kids are more creative than adults and also more innovative. So they can look in a different type of view. Even adults can't do it. So I think kids can be fabulous, amazing leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Rehan. Nemindi, what is your take on this? Can kids be great leaders?
Yes, sir. My opinion is that kids can definitely be great leaders too. Since the next generation is onto we children. If we don't be leaders, I think there will be wild people and they will be acting as bad men. There will be a lot of thieves and lot dangerous people. So there are children who change our elders' minds too in now time. So I think, just as I said before, kids can be great leaders too.
Okay, thank you, Nemeni. So our last speaker for tonight, Abdullah Ilyas. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us what you think about it. Can kids be great leaders?
Yes, I agree. I agree 100% with this topic, because when people say leaders, they usually think of a CEO of a huge company or president of a country. But being a leader is a responsibility, not a title. And there are many qualities that a leader can have. And anyone who has all of these qualities and meets all the requirements can be a leader, and age doesn't matter in that regard. So if a kid has all these qualities, and then yes, they can be a leader.
Right. That means it's only me who's left. I completely agree with what Abdullah said and what the other kids said as well. And Abdullah, I think you phrased it beautifully when you said leadership is not a title, it's a responsibility. It is the situations or circumstances that make leaders. Right. So as much as this fact is true that there are great leaders in the adult world, it is also true that there are some not so great leaders or corrupted leaders in the adult world as well. But it is true in the kids world too. There are some great leaders in the kids world, because it's the situations or circumstances that make great leaders. So for example, if you look at Greta Thunberg, she is a great leader who is driving an environmental movement across the world, championing the cause of protecting the environment. So she is a great leader, Greta Thunberg. And if you look at Louis Braille, who actually invented the Braille reading system for blind people, was also a child, for that matter, when he came up with the idea of Braille, the system, the Braille system. And very recently, about 2 days ago, I listened to a lot of speeches, and there was this kid who gave a speech about taking this role of a leader when both his parents were locked inside a room. So he helped to unlock the door and get them out. So he was a superhero of the day. So it's definitely not restricted or limited or defined by an age or title or an office, for that matter. It's definitely the situations or circumstances that make leaders. So if that is the case, I think kids definitely make great leaders. So with that, let's conclude yet another Talkalot session. So next week we'll be back with the Speak to Lead Speak Club with a new topic. Once again, thank you, kids. An enlightening session for me, and I'm sure for the audience as well. So with that, we'll end the Talkalot session. So kids, don't leave. We'll end this Talkalot session and move over to the other item in the agenda. So good night to everyone who's been listening to us.